Chapter 11, Fierce Fight. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The guests on the lower 6 floors saw Zhang Tiankui and Li Qingyun's tense posture and realized that the two seemed to be serious. Could we really witness a battle between foundation-building cultivators here today? Too exciting. I don't know who will win. Didn't you just hear? Zhang Tiankui has a middle-grade Dao foundation, and Li Zongzhu has a low-grade Dao foundation. I think Zhang Tiankui will definitely win. But I think Li Zongzhu is so handsome, I hope he can win. From the perspective of the lower floors, Zhang Tiankui is burly and twice as big as Li Qingyun. He is definitely more intimidating than Li Qingyun. In comparison, Li Qingyun, who is standing next to him, has a well-proportioned body, but at this time he looks a little thin. In addition, the difference in the quality of Dao foundations, as everyone knows, made everyone sweat for him. Wang Ruhai said, "The venue is chosen in the hollow of the restaurant. You two must not intentionally damage the restaurant or kill people. Do you agree with my rules?" "Agree." The two answered together. "Okay. Let's start over there." At the command, Zhang Tiankui took the brunt and punched over. Zhang Tiankui, who was as big as two people, punched Li Qingyun in the face with a strong wind. To everyone's surprise, Li Qingyun seemed to be stunned. He did not dodge Zhang Tiankui's fist at this time, but the next moment, an unexpected scene happened. Li Qingyun suddenly fell down, and grabbed Zhang Tiankui's thigh fiercely, dragging him down with force. Everyone was in an uproar. They didn't expect Zhang Tiankui's punch to be empty. He was dragged down by Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun thought to himself that Zhang Tiankui was so eager to attack that he forgot that they were fighting in the air. He was very flexible and left the lower body to himself. At this moment, a cool breeze suddenly blew from his back, and Li Qingyun cried out that it was not good. Zhang Tiankui actually bent down to attack Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun had no choice but to grab Zhang Tiankui's thigh and threw him to the first floor. At this time, a huge space had been vacated on the first floor under Feng Yang's call. Bang! Zhang Tiankui fell to the ground and smashed a deep pit on the ground. Everyone was silent, and the whole restaurant fell into silence. Did Li Qingyun kill Zhang Tiankui in one move? But at this time, Li Qingyun did not show a relaxed expression on his face, but his expression became more solemn. Zhang Tiankui lay in the deep pit on the first floor. After a few seconds, his body shook and he stood up with the help of the ground. He is a physical cultivator. Someone with sharp eyes screamed. Ah, a physical cultivator. No wonder he is fine after falling like that. The Taoist base crushes the physical cultivator. It seems that this time, Master Li is really going to lose. Zhang Tiankui spat on the ground and said, "Master Li, this little bit of power still can't hurt me. You should show some real skills." Sure enough. Li Qingyun thought to himself, this person provoked him from the beginning, and kept saying some extremely excessive words to provoke him. It turned out that he was really prepared and was specially prepared to deal with him. Zhang Tiankui screamed, kicked the ground to crack, and bounced up from the first floor. He actually approached Li Qingyun at a very fast speed. Li Qingyun couldn't dodge in time, so he had to fight Zhang Tiankui in close combat. Li Qingyun's physical cultivation was obviously not as good as Zhang Tiankui, and he was beaten back by Zhang Tiankui and fell into a disadvantage. Damn, Yi Xiaoyu bit her lip when she saw this scene. Even if Brother Qingyun had some tricks, he couldn't defeat a physical cultivator like Zhang Tiankui in close combat. But why didn't Brother Qingyun keep his distance? Could it be that he couldn't resist and couldn't keep his distance? The young man in white robe beside her snorted disdainfully when he saw the battle between Zhang Tiankui and Li Qingyun that made the whole restaurant focus and hold their breath. Senior Sister Lu saw Li Qingyun being defeated on the 8th floor. Yi Xiaoyu was worried and secretly proud in her heart. Xiaoyu, Senior Sister is also for your own good. She wants you to see how bad Li Qingyun is and how vulnerable he is. Don't worry too much. Zhang Tiankui seized Li Qingyun's empty space and took the opportunity to throw Li Qingyun out fiercely, throwing Li Qingyun to the 6th floor. Master Li, this level of strength is not enough. It seems that you will not be able to get the spirit stone today, and you have to help me, an ordinary disciple, defeat the bastard master of Qingshan Sect. TSK. Although it is not glorious, it is still quite satisfying. Zhang Tiankue looked at Li Qingyun and said so. Although this lecher who teased Xiaoyu has some strength, there is still some gap between him and himself. Li Qingyun stood up from the 6th floor and said, I let you take advantage of me just to test your progress in body refining. Now it seems that it is nothing more than this. Ha ha ha. Zhang Tiankue laughed angrily. What a stubborn sect masterly, if that's the case, let me end this duel. I'll see how stubborn you are when I see you. Li Qingyun patted the dust on his Taoist robe and said, that's what I meant. Then let me show you the power of the middle-grade Taoist foundation. To be honest, sect masterly, I have been practicing the soul capture sect's soul capture art for a long time, and my control over spiritual power has reached the level of spiritual power release. In addition to the entry into the technique, the middle-grade Taoist foundation, this is also the strongest move I have practiced so far. You are defeated by this move, and you are not in vain as the sect master of Qingshan Sect. Soul capture. Zhang Tiankue struck out with his palm, and the spiritual energy of heaven and earth condensed into a black light of about 3 feet, shooting straight at Li Qingyun. Half a step to the first level. Wang Ruhai exclaimed and stood up from his chair. I didn't expect that the soul-snatching art of the soul-snatching sect has reached the level of half a step to the first level. Zhang Tiankue used the control of the spiritual power, coupled with the art, to exert part of the power of the secret. At this time, Wang Ruhai was extremely nervous, secretly condensing spiritual power, ready to go down to save people at any time. With such power, Li Qingyun may die on the spot if he can't handle it. As the host, he must not let Li Qingyun die at his birthday banquet. At this time, Yi Xiaoyu grabbed the hem of her skirt with one hand and held a red jade pendant with the other hand, and she even made a gesture of coming forward to help at any time. Facing the spiritual power from top to bottom, Li Qingyun looked serious, and all the formulas of Qingshan art floated to his mind. Buzz. A huge amount of spiritual power poured into Li Qingyun's body like a whale swallowing, making him feel that the flow of time around him seemed to slow down. The 6 bridges of heaven and earth in his body gathered spiritual power at maximum power, and actually gathered 2 meters of green spiritual power in his hands. Bang! Wang Ruhai, who was sitting on the 9th floor, crushed the armrest of the chair with one hand and gritted his teeth and said, entering grade skills. Chapter 12 Recruitment. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Qingshan, the green spiritual energy gathered in Li Qingyun's hands. He roared, and the 6 bridges of heaven and earth roared, pouring out all the power in his hands. At this moment, almost all the people in the whole restaurant covered their eyes. The heads of the families on the 8th floor were afraid of being affected and retreated far to the back. Boom! A sound rang out. This sound was not a loud noise, but it made everyone feel that the sound appeared in the distant sky, and then accompanied by tinnitus, made everyone tremble in their hearts. What kind of trick is this? I think the whole restaurant will be destroyed by him. The heads of the families on the 8th floor obviously recognized the power of Li Qingyun's moves, and they were all stunned at this time. This is the real secret method. Li Qingyun took a deep breath and adjusted his disordered breath. If he had not already mastered the spiritual power to the extent of spiritual power release, Qingshan Ju had reached a small success, plus the improvement of the middle-grade Tao foundation. It is very likely that he would be emptied by using the secret once today. He looked at Zhang Tiankue, who was lying on the 8th floor with a terrified face. At the last moment, Wang Ruhai rescued him and threw him to the 8th floor. Zhang Tiankue was now in a state of disgrace. His gorgeous clothes were in tatters, revealing the blue and red scars on his body. His face was pale and full of fear. How do you have a first-class skill? Li Qingyun took a deep breath and said in a voice that could be heard by the whole restaurant. First-class skill. Do you know the spirit-gathering array? We have it in Qingshan Sect too. Zhang Tiankue staggered to his feet and looked at Li Qingyun, who was so proud and even arrogant in front of him, and gritted his teeth and said, Li Qingyun, don't be so proud. the elder will not let you go. Li Qingyun touched his chin and thought, will I let him go? At this moment, Zhang Tiankui saw Yi Xiaoyu walking down from the 9th floor. He thought, forget it, if I lose, I lose. Fortunately, the goddess Xiaoyu saw me standing up for her. I am satisfied to hear her say a word of comfort. She even came to me to support me. All this is worth it. Thinking of this, Zhang Tiankui seemed to be more exhausted, and even fell to the ground again. He looked at the goddess running down from the 9th floor with a tragic and desolate, but strong look, as if saying, Goddess, I am willing to die for you, all this is voluntary, please don't blame yourself. I will be distressed. Unexpectedly, Yi Xiaoyu hurriedly ran past him without even looking at him, and asked in his voice that he had been thinking about day and night, Brother Qingyun, are you okay? How are you? Zhang Tiankui suddenly felt a buzzing in his head, and he fainted. Yi Xiaoyu insisted on holding Li Qingyun, but Li Qingyun felt that it was not good for a young girl to be watched by so many people, so she did not get too close to her, but just walked side by side. The two of them went up to the 9th floor. The young man in white robe who was originally sitting on the 9th floor was nowhere to be found. I think he had left. Wang Ruhai stepped forward to greet him enthusiastically. Qingyun. Not bad. I knew you wouldn't keep silent forever, and you would make a splash sooner or later. Heroes emerge young. Mr. Wang, you are too kind. Qingyun is only half as good as Mr. Wang back then. Wang Ruhai laughed loudly. Li Qingyun and Wang Ruhai exchanged pleasantries. After that, Qingyun got to the point. To be honest, Qingyun came here this time. In addition to celebrating Mr. Wang's birthday, I actually have a small request. It's about upgrading the star for Qingshan Sect. Xiaoyu has told me about it. It's easy to talk about, easy to talk about. Yi Xiaoyu took out a red gift box from the table, handed it to Li Qingyun, and said, Master Li, you should put this spirit-gathering stone away quickly, or Mr. Wang will regret it later. Wang Ruhai glared at Yi Xiaoyu. Little girl, how can Wang be a person who doesn't keep his word? Just take the spirit-gathering stone. Yi Xiaoyu quickly stuffed the spirit-gathering stone into Li Qingyun's arms and gave Li Qingyun a look of triumph. Li Qingyun smiled and said to the two of them, the banquet will continue. In that case, Qingyun will go back and sit down. Wang Ruhai said unhappily, Hey. You are sitting here, and you want to go back one floor. Aren't you deliberately making things difficult for me, Wang? Li Qingyun smiled mysteriously, you can sit here, unless. Feng Yong was shocked. He never thought that one day he would be able to go up to the 9th floor of Kaiwansai, and not as a servant to serve guests, but as a guest, sitting on the 9th floor. He swallowed hard and said to Li Qingyun, Master Li, Feng Yong just didn't recognize the real thing, and didn't have the ability to see the real thing. Nonsense. You can still let me in if you have no ability to see the real thing. Don't be nervous, just sit here and watch the show. Feng Yong didn't know what Li Qingyun was up to, so he had to answer obediently, yes. How much do you get paid a year working in Kaiwansai? Feng Yong said, in reply to Sect Master Li, Feng Yong works as a clerk in Kaiwansai, and his annual salary is 10 low-grade spirit stones. You only earn 10 spirit stones a year, and it takes 5 spirit stones for a guest to enter. Why did you bring me in? Li Qingyun raised his eyebrows and asked. This. Feng Yong looked at Wang Ruhai with an embarrassed expression, a little embarrassed, but finally said, I am an errand consul, it is not difficult to open a back door to let you in. Ha. Li Qingyun laughed, don't be afraid, after the banquet, you will quit your job at Kaiwansai and follow me. What? I told you to follow me to Qingshan Sect. Okay. I will go pack my things now. After saying that, he actually ran downstairs in a flash, and really went to pack his things on the spot. Ding, hidden task completed, host completed the task score, B level, reward genius points, 200. Reward hidden attributes, 1000. Ding, during the task, accept special talents, task rewards increase by 50%, actual reward, 300 genius points, hidden attributes, 1500. Li Qingyun's mouth curled up a smile. Even if there are many people in the restaurant who envy him now, it is all false. Only improving his own strength can be the real foundation for survival. Otherwise, no one can guarantee that the tragedy will not happen again. Just like Wang Ruhai, his attitude towards me can change from cold to warm. Can't it change from warm to cold again? Today's harvest is huge, and I must sort it out after returning to the sect, otherwise I will have indigestion. Moreover, today I injured Zhang Tiankue, which is equivalent to severely slapping the face of the soul-snatching sect. The conflict with the soul-snatching sect has intensified. The people of the soul-snatching sect may not let it go. Chapter 13, Planning the Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The luxurious banquet held by Wang Ruhai in Kaiwanzhai, which was rare in Xuanhuan City for 10 years, came to an end, but this time the banquet caused a stir in Xuanhuan City. What makes the people of Xuanhuan City talk about the most is that the Qingshan Sect that has been dormant for a long time has reappeared in Xuanhuan City, and the leader of the Qingshan Sect, Li Qingyun, is not as useless as the previous legends, and actually defeated the Zhang family in soul capture. Zhang Tiankue, the core disciple of the sect, as soon as this incident came out, the previous slanderous legends about Li Qingyun gradually disappeared. In the hearts of people in Xuanhuan City, Li Qingyun gradually turned into an image of a self-improving, young and promising young sect leader. Some residents even look forward to the Qingshan Sect returning to Xuanhuan City to recruit students. At this time, Li Qingyun was enthusiastically building his own sect within the Qingshan Sect. Qingshan is located in the east of Xuanhuan City. If you walk along the mountain road from the east of the city to the deep mountain, you will see a stone staircase going up the mountain. There are 3,674 steps on the stone staircase. After climbing up, you will see a wide small square, about 30 feet in diameter. There is a deaf old man sweeping the floor in this open space. Because this small square is the open space in front of his house, the gate is made of fine pear wood. It is not as gorgeous as the carved beams and paintings, but the structure is grand and has a certain style. However, although the door was kept spotless, it seemed to lack spirit and was a bit worn and rough. Li Qingyun looked at Uncle Lu, who was sweeping the floor carefully, and said, "Uncle Lu, this gate has been built for more than 100 years, right?" 299 years and 2 months. Uncle Lu actually reported a number accurate to the month. "Oh." Li Qingyun said, "I want to renovate it." "Lu Bodeo, it's hard to find good wood." Li Qingyun said, "I have a way." Uncle Lu said slowly, "If we can't find good wood and good craftsmen, we might as well not repair the gate." "Humph," an old donkey echoed from the donkey shed. "Uncle Lu, take the old donkey for a walk, and I will study it further," Li Qingyun said. "When the system renovates the gate and the main hall later, there may be strange phenomena. It would be better not to hurt Uncle Lu then." Uncle Lu muttered something, walked slowly towards the donkey shed, and led the old donkey towards the back hill. "Let's start." Seeing Uncle Lu walking away, Li Qingyun informed the system. "Start renovating the sect's main hall and gate." Remodeling. A scene that stunned Li Qingyun happened. No abnormality occurred. All the structures of the original gate were quickly decomposed and then quickly reassembled into another structure. "Please host, choose the gate couplet." Li Qingyun said impatiently, don't choose, build it quickly. "You must choose, first." "Ah. I choose the first one." Keep going. The first couplet has been selected, which corresponds to the mountain protecting formation, Buddha's Wrath King Kong. The current level of the mountain guard formation is low-level yellow level. Each activation requires 50 genius points. The gate was quickly erected. The whole structure was still made of wood, but the height and width were increased several times. It was 60 meters wide and nearly 100 meters high. Li Qingyun's throat rolled. "This is too high." The 60-meter width is divided into several doors: the main door, the side door, the corner door, the side door. Li Qingyun held his forehead. How could Uncle Lu clean and watch the door now? There is a couplet on both sides of the main entrance. "Sing a few times and the smoke will dawn in the temple." A fisherman's song is about the sea, sky and autumn. Li Qingyun clicked his tongue and marveled. This system is quite cultured. The artistic conception of this couplet is ethereal. When he placed it like this at the door, it looked like an out-of-this-world masterpiece. Ahem, although the gate structure is a bit too exaggerated, the transformation was quite successful. Li Qingyun looked at the door with satisfaction and prepared to go in and take a look at the main hall. Sect Master. Feng Yong's voice came from behind. Li Qingyun turned to look at Feng Yong. He was carrying large and small bags and a wooden bucket. He didn't know what he was doing. Feng Yong, aren't you tired of carrying so many things up the mountain? Feng Yong wiped his sweat and said, It's okay, sect leader. I have been diligent since I was a child and am willing to endure hardships. I saw that the paint on our gate was peeling off in many places. I thought it didn't look good, so I thought about going down the mountain to sell some things and repair our gate. You give me so much salary, I can't stop working, right? You may not care about this, but the gate belongs to the same sect. Well. Feng Yong raised his head, and his face, stained with diligent sweat and full of happy smile, froze. The facade. Li Qingyun patted Feng Yong on the shoulder. You did a good job. Let's throw these things into the warehouse first. Maybe they will be useful in the future. Feng Yong closed his chin and replied, Yes, yes, the sect master said so. Li Qingyun said, Let's go and see the main hall, your future workplace. Ah, yes, yes. Feng Yong was completely stunned by Li Qingyun's magical methods. He built tall buildings from the ground without even using wood or stone. The two of them walked into the door together, which immediately made Feng Yong's legs weak. This, sect master, is this really the place where Feng Yong will receive guests in the future? The first time he saw the main hall, not only Feng Yong was shocked, but Li Qingyun was also stunned. This main hall, yellow bricks and glazed windows, green trim, purple pillars and golden beams, dragons and phoenixes playing, extremely solemn and luxurious. This external shape, is simply a replica of the Mahavira Palace. This card, is probably on par with the 6 or 7-star sect. Thinking of the effect of the mountain protection formation attached to this gate and the hall, Li Qingyun felt very happy. It seems that Qingshan Sect is really going to upgrade this time. By the way, there is also a spirit gathering formation that needs to be activated. Thinking of this, Li Qingyun said to Feng Yong, You get familiar with the environment here, I will go to the cave area in the back mountain. Feng Yong said, Yes, you go ahead. Host, a reminder, the low-grade spirit gathering stone is not enough to support a spirit gathering formation of 500 acres. Li Qingyun. Why didn't you say it earlier? But it can support a spirit gathering formation of 50 acres or 5 acres. Li Qingyun, you can die if you finish speaking in one breath, right? System. The system was silent and stopped talking. After a long silence, Li Qingyun could no longer hold back. Okay, I apologize to you. I shouldn't be so harsh on you. System, based on the current number of people in the host sect, it is recommended to turn on the minimum power. The spirit gathering array only covers an area of 5 mu. A low-grade spirit gathering stone can sustain the needs for a period of time. Li Qingyun said, What effect can be achieved? System, according to the system's calculations, it can achieve an 8-fold increase in spiritual energy. If it is supplied for 8 hours a day, it can last for a month. Li Qingyun said, Done. After saying that, he looked at the 500 mu cave area, and his heart moved. He sighed, When will Qingshan Sect really grow stronger and the disciples he recruited can fill the cave area? Chapter 14 Situ Quan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xuanhuan City is located to the east of Dihua Prefecture and belongs to the center of Dihua East Prefecture. It has an area of 300 miles and governs the entire Dong Prefecture. The soul-capturing sect is located to the west of Dihua Mansion and belongs to the center of Shifu. The central city of Shifu is Xuanhuan City. Unlike the Qingshan Sect, the soul-capturing sect actually controls Xuanhuan City and has actual control over the 300 miles of Shifu. Almost all the good seedlings in the West Prefecture were sent to the soul-capturing sect, while in the East Prefecture, due to the collapse of the Qingshan Sect, the good seedlings in Xuanhuan City were actually sent to the soul-capturing sect in the West Prefecture. Now, Shifu, inside the soul-taking sect, deep in the huge mountain gate, there is a quiet residence. Not only is the environment here elegant, but the concentration of spiritual energy is about 3 times thicker than other places. At this moment, a middle-aged Taoist with a white face and no beard was holding a roll of jade slips, thoughtfully. You mean, Li Qingyun has greatly improved in strength and has advanced skills? The Taoist asked. Exactly. An extremely burly man stood respectfully in the room and said cautiously. This man was Zhang Tiankue. However, he changed his usual domineering character at this time and stood in front of this Taoist without even daring to make a sound. Because this Taoist is Situ Quan, the great elder and the strongest of the soul-calling sect. Okay, I understand. Situ Quan said calmly. Great elder. Situ Quan said calmly, I understand what you mean, but the Qingshan Sect collapsed 3 years ago, so no matter how much time is given to this Li Qingyun, he will not be able to threaten our soul captor sect. Besides, our sect has more important things to plan, and we can't spare much energy to deal with this Li Qingyun. Yes. Zhang Tiankue responded. It's not worth the effort, and it doesn't mean that you don't care. You go to your master and ask him to temporarily hand over the refining of the 10,000 soul pills to Elder Sun, and he will be responsible for beating the Qingshan Sect. Tell your master, control of Xuanhuan City cannot be lost. Understand, Zhang Tiankue responded excitedly, yes, yes, yes. Then go down. Tiankue excuses himself. After Zhang Tiankue left, Situ Quan slowly put down the jade slip. He murmured, advanced skills. Within the Qingshan sect, Sun Liang held Ping An's little hand and stood in front of Li Qingyun with an obedient expression. Li Qingyun said, you too, don't waste too much time on other things in the future, you must practice hard. Ping An's face was sullen and he replied seriously, yes. Master, Ping An must practice hard and secretly tell Master that Ping An has already reached the 6th level of Qi training. Li Qingyun's face twitched. He was indeed a genius of Tianlingen. He had just started practicing and he had reached the 6th level of Qi training. It was really enviable, but geniuses are most afraid of pride, so Li Qingyun said, well. Ping An is not bad, but Master had already reached the 9th level of Qi training when he was Ping An's age. Ah. Ping An exaggeratedly stared. Yes, your senior brother Sun Liang is only 3 years older than you, and he has already reached the 11th level of Qi training now. Oh. Ping An puffed up his small mouth and made a mellow voice. Sun Liang said, Master, why did you call us here? I just put the rice into the pot, and I have to go back and look at the pot. Li Qingyun said, I told you that from now on, I will concentrate on practicing in cooking. I'll figure it out. I asked you to come here today to tell you that I have opened up a formation with rich spiritual energy in the Dongfu area. The concentration of spiritual energy is 3 times that of other places. So, you too must practice here for 8 hours every day from now on, do you understand? Yes, Master. The 2 men replied respectfully, then screamed and rushed into the cave area. Wow, the spiritual energy concentration is indeed very high, Senior Brother Sun. Yeah. This spirit-gathering array that left Li Qingyun helpless was finally open and finally played its intended role. Li Qingyun looked at his 2 disciples with an aunty smile on his face, and thought to himself that he should practice quickly, otherwise it would not look good if he was caught up by 2 disciples. At this time, Feng Yong came panting from the direction of the main hall. Sect Master, 2 people came to the door and said they wanted to see you. I think they seem to be people from Tianji Pavilion. People from Tianji Pavilion? Li Qingyun was shocked. Did he come so soon? Feng Yong led Li Qingyun to the main hall quickly, describing the appearance of the 2 people to Li Qingyun in detail as he walked. One in green robe and one in white robe, That the green robe represents that this person is a senior deacon of Tianji Pavilion, and his cultivation level is at least above the golden elixir. The white robe represents that this person is an ordinary deacon, and his cultivation level is below the golden elixir, but both qi training and foundation building are possible. That Qin Pao was extremely polite, but those two people were obviously intimidated by our majestic palace. Also, I think that white robe looks like the person who sat with Wang Ruhai at Kaiwansai that day. Oh. Li Qingyun was quite surprised. The young man in white robe disappeared inexplicably after he defeated Zhang Tiankue that day. Did he not expect that he turned out to be a member of Tianji Pavilion? It looks like it should be from the Dihua Prefecture branch. Li Qingyun and Wang Ruhai walked a few steps quickly and arrived at the main hall. I saw a young man wearing a green robe with an ordinary face, but exuding an indescribable temperament. He was sitting in the hall, looking at the brand new hall, and the young man in white robe was standing respectfully beside the man in green robe. "I'm sorry for not welcoming you, Li Qingyun walked a few steps quickly, past Feng Yong, and said with a warm bow. "No problem, no problem." The man in green robe stood up and greeted Li Qingyun with a smile. Li Qingyun looked at the man in green robe and suddenly felt as if he had seen him somewhere before, but he couldn't remember where he was, so he asked, "Junior Li Qingyun, how should I address this senior?" That the man in green robe smiled and said, "I'm Han Li, and I've received your father's favor. So we should be of the same generation, so I don't dare to be a senior." Met an acquaintance. Li Qingyun's heart moved. Star rating, things like that are much easier when you meet an acquaintance. Then he said, "Okay, Brother Han. I don't know why do I feel like I've seen Brother Han somewhere?" Haha. Han Li laughed. "When Wang Ruhai held a birthday party in Kaiwansai, I secretly observed you, standing next to the head of the Wang family on the 8th floor. Li Qingyun was shocked. Standing on the 8th floor, which was so conspicuous, with so few people, he was so ordinary that he didn't attract attention. This method was really terrible. He was just secretly observing me, maybe to see if I was worth investing in. After all, if I still wanted to be as decadent as I was in the past few years, maybe Han Li would think that I was not worth coming to recognize my relatives, so he would not recognize me." Just when Li Qingyun was thinking about it, Han Li said something to the white robe behind him that made Li Qingyun secretly happy. "Why don't you come and meet your uncle Li Qingyun?" Chapter 15 Bang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The young man in white robe looked ugly, but he seemed to be very afraid of Han Li, and his face was red at this time. Google search reading, feeling Li Qingyun's eyes, he glared hard at Li Qingyun and gave Li Qingyun a commanding look. "Order me." Li Qingyun was secretly amused. "I originally planned to say no need to bow, to save some face for you, but I didn't expect you would still dare to glare at me, so I had to pretend to be deaf and dumb." Thinking of this, Li Qingyun turned his attention to Han Li and put on a cute smile. "Not soon." Han Li urged again. "Zheng Yuan has met Uncle Li, sure." Zheng Yuan gritted his teeth and his eyes almost penetrated Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun said, "No gifts, no gifts." The way Zheng Yuan looked at him was wrong from the moment he came in. It was always a look of arrogance, as if he was much higher than Li Qingyun, which made Li Qingyun feel very uncomfortable. Now that he could take the opportunity to fight back against him, of course he would have such an opportunity. Won't miss it. Moreover, this person was still looking at Xiaoyu like that at the banquet. Humph. I have just detected the situation of Qingshan Sect. With the foundation of these buildings, the rating of Qingshan Sect may be higher than you expected. Just when Han Li was describing his views on the situation of the Qingshan Sect, a message was sent from the system. Sect name, Qingshan Sect, Sect overview, buildings, 200. Industry, 100. Disciples, 100. Teachers, 0. Sect leader, 10. Total score, 410, 1-star sect, 2-star sect needs to reach 500, Han Li said. "So after comprehensive consideration, I think we will give your sect another star and designate it as a 2-star sect." 2-star sect? Exactly. Thank you, Brother Han. Li Qingyun looked at Han Li gratefully and nodded heavily. The system's rating for him must be accurate. Qingshan Sect is indeed still far away from the 2-star sect, but Hanli gave him the rating of the 2-star sect, although Hanli wanted to repay the kindness his parents had given him before. In his opinion, this was just helping Li Qingyun. Hanli said, after the assessment, the Qingshan Sect's protection period will pass. By then, without the protection period of Tianji Pavilion, the Qingshan Sect may directly face vicious competition from other sections. I hope Sect Master Li will take care of himself. Moreover, the 300 miles that originally belonged to the Qingshan Sect. Since the Qingshan Sect has lost control over it for a long time, it is estimated that it will shrink significantly after this assessment, and may even be reduced to 100 miles. Li Qingyun asked, is it because we lost control of the central city? Exactly, but... What? Hanli said, but I will fight for the Qingshan Sect again, fight for a 2-month dispute period, and fight for a 2-month breathing space for the Gue Zone. 2 months. If I can take back Xuanhuan city within 2 months, can I legitimately take over the 300-mile jurisdiction? Li Qingyun asked eagerly, because 100 miles is too small, and a radius of 100 miles, and with a radius of 300 miles, the area is actually 9 times different. Or is it okay for me to be promoted to a 3-star sect within 2 months? Han Lilian was stunned for a moment. Theoretically, it's possible, but, when a new sect is established, we still need to lay a solid foundation, and don't rush for success. 2 months, I want to try it. When Hanli saw this, it was hard for him to say anything. It was normal for young people to have motivation and ideals, so it was hard for him to say anything. He said, can I go to the back mountain to take a look? It's quite emotional to visit my old place again. Li Qingyun said, of course you can. Brother Han, please do it. Hanli responded and disappeared directly into the hall. Li Qingyun raised his eyebrows and teleported. Isn't that something only nascent soul cultivators can master? Could it be that this Brother Han is a great monk in the nascent soul stage? At this time, Xuanhuan's voice came over. 2 months. From a 2-star sect to a 3-star sect. Are you still going to take back Xuanhuan city? You really don't know the heights of the world. Do you think the soul capture sect will let you go easily? Who in Xuanhuan city still believes in you now? Take back a city from a sect with 4-star strength? I advise you to run your sect honestly. After all, the entire Dihua mansion has not had a sect that has been promoted to 3 stars within 1 year for 2,000 years. Tianji Pavilion has prepared rewards for sects that quickly break through multiple star levels within a year. Mr. Li, don't you want to consider taking it? You are a low-grade Taoist waste foundation builder. You are still in the early stages of foundation building. You should think about how to survive under the hands of the soul captor sect. A series of rhetorical attacks made Li Qingyun raise his eyebrows and said in surprise, you really have colluded with the soul-destroying sect, nephew Xuanhuan? You. Xuanhuan stretched out his finger and pointed at Li Qingyun. Me? Li Qingyun said, what's wrong with me? Xuanhuan's nephew? Are you angry because I called you my nephew, or are you angry because I said you were in collusion with the soul captors? I guess you are angry because I said you were colluding with the soul captor sect. After all, the deacon of Tianji Pavilion is not allowed to accept gifts from the lower sect without permission. Don't want to spit on others. Xuanhuan retorted with a loud voice as if he had been bitten on the tail. Oh, then you are angry because I called you my nephew. After all, there is nothing to be angry about colluding with the soul captors. It is just a common thing. Li Qingyun looked at the furious Xuanhuan and said calmly again. Xuanhuan took a deep breath to relieve his chest, which was stuffy because of Li Qingyun. What a slick-tongued Li Qingyun. I won't argue with you, just wait and see. Li Qingyun sneered. This sneer made Xuanhuan, who had just suppressed his depression, completely explode. With red eyes, he shouted at Li Qingyun, do you really think I dare not do it? Li Qingyun said, what if you do it? Ha 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 ha. Xuanhuan seemed to be stimulated by something ridiculous. Do you really think you can try me after defeating Zhang Tiankue? Li Qingyun said, I don't quite understand why you have to try me, and you have to think that I want to try you. Are you as stupid as Zhang Tiankue? Do you have to show me a suicidal look to provoke me? It seems that I must show you some color today. Zheng Yuan's cultivation suddenly exploded, and the violent spiritual energy around him was several times stronger than Zhang Tiankue, which surprised Li Qingyun. You are scared, right? How can you, a country bumpkin, understand a true genius? Zheng Yuan laughed triumphantly. Ha 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 ha. Bang! A giant hand appeared and slapped Zheng Yuan under its palm. Li Qingyun said helplessly, you are fighting with me in my old nest. Even if you are a great perfection in foundation building, so what? Well, this mountain protection formation is quite useful, but it costs a little bit. Ding, successfully used the mountain protection formation once, consuming 50 genius points, currently 295 points remaining. Li Qingyun felt a little pain, but seeing Zheng Yuan being knocked to the ground by him, he felt better. If he didn't have the mountain protection formation today, maybe Zheng Yuan would succeed. As for whether beating Zheng Yuan would make Han Li hostile, it should not be. The relationship between the senior deacons and ordinary deacons of Tianji Pavilion is an apprenticeship system. Basically, ordinary deacons do errands for senior deacons. The relationship between the two is just a work relationship between superiors and subordinates, and there is no affection. This can be seen from the attitude of Han Li asking Zheng Yuan to call him uncle just now. Li Qingyun squatted on the ground and looked at Zheng Yuan, who had given up resistance and was lying on the ground, and said, admit your mistakes and I will let you out. Woo woo woo. Zheng Yuan could no longer speak, and could only make woo woo sounds. Okay, if you don't admit your mistakes, then I will let you out when your teacher comes back. Chapter 16, Heavenly Secret Stone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Han Li returned from the back mountain and saw Zheng Yuan being pressed to the ground. His face twitched. Wingdings, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. Google search reading. Li Qingyun saw this and released Zheng Yuan. Han Li glanced at Li Qingyun and changed the subject tacitly, masterly. After the sect evaluation, Qingshan Sect has become a regular 2-star sect. You can engrave information on the Tianji stone of the Dihua Prefecture branch of Tianji Pavilion to recruit disciples and even elders from Dihua City. I wonder what information Master Li wants to leave. Li Qingyun was surprised. How unpopular Zheng Yuan must be. Li Qingyun abused him severely, and when Han Li saw it, he didn't even say a word. It is impossible to say that Han Li has a bad character, because a person with a bad character will never remember the kindness of Li Qingyun's parents to him many years ago, so, Han Li must have done it on purpose. Master Li. What message do you want to leave on the Tianji stone? Han Li reminded Li Qingyun again when he saw that Li Qingyun seemed to be distracted. Let me think. Li Qingyun said, just say. Qingshan Sect urgently needs a large number of foundation-building elders with upper-grade Dao foundation and above, and Qi training disciples with 9 spiritual roots and above. Han Li coughed, ahem, your request is a little high. Then add one more sentence, only one. That's it. Han Li said, this. Li Qingyun said, Brother Han, don't be surprised. Although Qingshan Sect is in need of people now, if we recruit unqualified people, what use will it be for our Qingshan Sect? Although he said so, Li Qingyun's heart was bleeding. This was not his idea at all, it was clearly the requirement of the system. Just when Li Qingyun wanted to speak, the system reminded him, pay attention, the minimum standard for the strongest sect's outer disciples is 9 spiritual roots, and the requirements for the foundation building elders can be temporarily relaxed to the upper grade foundation. Han Li said helplessly, okay, it seems that Sect Master Li has his own plans, so I will not say anything more. Please take care of yourself. I'll take my leave now. Hey, stay for a meal. No need. Okay, then I'll take you there. After seeing Han Li off, Li Qingyun returned to the hall and sat down. From Han Li's performance, it should be true that he has an old relationship with his parents, otherwise he would not have opened a back door for himself, and the sect was designated as a 2-star sect, and a 2-month grace period was given to the 300 Li jurisdiction. It should be the greatest power within his authority. Li Qingyun didn't say much, but he remembered this favor in his heart. When he became successful with the help of the sect, he would never forget the person who helped him in difficult times, although even Hanli, who had seen the Qingshan Sect Spirit Gathering Array and Mountain Protection Array, did not have hope that he could be promoted to a 3-star sect within 2 months. Li Qingyun still wanted to give it a try. The system had only helped him a few times, and he had recovered from an inaccessible sect to the level of a 2-star sect. It was not impossible to be promoted to 3 stars in 2 months, he had to be promoted to 3 stars. After all, the 300 miles of jurisdiction brought the resources of 300 miles, while the resources brought by the 100 miles of jurisdiction were only 1/9 of the resources of 300 miles. More importantly, if he lost the qualification of the 300 miles of jurisdiction, he would have no chance to enter Xuanhuan City. There are 2 ways to get back the 300 miles of jurisdiction. One is to be promoted to a 3-star sect within 2 months, and the other is to recapture Xuanhuan City within 2 months. At least he had to win back the hearts of the majority of people in Xuanhuan City. Of these 2 methods, it seems that only honestly building a sect and reaching the 3-star sect is more feasible. After all, the soul-snatching sect is now in its heyday. It is said that it has reached the strength of a 4-star sect, but it has not been evaluated. It is nominally only a 3-star sect. With the current strength of the Qingshan Sect, a direct conflict with the soul-snatching sect and competing for Xuanhuan City is undoubtedly a dead end, but this does not mean that Li Qingyun has no ambition to compete with the soul-snatching sect. According to Li Qingyun's plan, he must develop the sect first, and as for Xuanhuan City, take it slowly, 2 months. It must be possible. After all, he is still very interested in the rewards that Xuanhuan said that the Tianji Pavilion prepared for the continuously upgraded sections. Dihua City, the association-level branch set up by the Tianji Pavilion. The branch building is a 7-story corner tower, with flying eaves and walls, extremely magnificent, but the few people standing outside the building at this time have no intention of appreciating the building, but are looking at a white stone standing in front of the corner tower. This stone is in the shape of a wall, and there are many small characters written densely on the side facing people, and those people are. Concentrating on the content of the small characters, suddenly, a line of characters appeared in the center of the stone. Wow, the 2-star sect area has changed. Is there a new 1-star sect that has been promoted to 2 stars? Go and have a look. Everyone quickly gathered at the area corresponding to the Tianji stone. One person read. Dihua Prefecture Sect List, Number 37, Qingshan Sect, Sect Master Li Qingyun. Introduction: a 3-star top sect a few years ago, unexpectedly declined and fell apart 3 years ago. The new sect master Li Qingyun worked hard to revitalize Qingshan Sect and promoted it to a 2-star sect. Wow, not bad, a 2-star sect with the foundation of a 3-star top sect is a good place to go. Yes, the foundation of a 3-star top sect will never be bad. Go and see if this Qingshan Sect is recruiting people. You can tell relatives and friends to see if there are any suitable children in the family. Everyone looked down, they saw a sentence written at the back that shocked everyone. Qingshan Sect urgently needs a large number of foundation building elders with upper-grade Dao foundation and above, and Qi training disciples with 9 spiritual roots and above. Only 1 person is allowed. Everyone was silent for a while, and one person said, I am not mistaken. Is this a recruitment condition for a 2-star sect? One person sneered, I think the leader of Qingshan Sect, Li Qingyun, thinks he is a 9-star sect. Yes, with such conditions, why don't others go to better 4-star and 5-star sects, but go to your 2-star sect? I was originally going to tell my relatives and friends as good news, but now it seems that I can only tell them as a joke, ahaha. Everyone saw such ignorant information, and almost all of them mocked. At this time, a woman's voice came from the back of the crowd, hello, is this the location of the Tianji stone in Dihua City? Ah, yes. The man who was asked by the woman at the back was stunned for a moment, and then answered. The reason why he was stunned was that the tone of the woman sounded like she was not from Dihua. But because he was stunned the moment he turned around and saw the woman was wearing a red dress, and the red dress was split from the waist, showing her round thighs and slender calves, making the eyes of all the men who turned their heads to look at her become extremely hot, but she turned a blind eye to these men's eyes, as if she had long been accustomed to these eyes, and looked at the information on the Tianji stone by herself. The men around were already whispering to each other and signaling to each other with sneaky eyes. Finally, the red-dressed woman's sight locked on the Dihua Prefecture sect list, and after a moment, her eyes suddenly lit up, and she left the crowd with a smile, leaving a group of people looking at each other. Did you just look at the recruitment information of Qingshan Sect? What's wrong with taking a look? I won't really go there. That's right. Chapter 17, Beautiful Elder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Host qualification, cultivation value, 250, peak of the initial stage of foundation building, spiritual roots, 6 spiritual roots, foundation building, middle grade foundation building, art, Qingyun Ju yellow grade lower grade, genius points, 295. Li Qingyun stared at his panel and said, can Qingyun Ju be upgraded to yellow grade middle grade? It requires 800 genius points, and the host does not have enough points. Oh. Li Qingyun responded. Improving the grade of the art is what he wants to see most, because the inheritance of art is the most important thing for a sect. If Qingyun Ju can be upgraded to yellow grade middle grade, or yellow grade upper grade, it can attract talents to Qingshan Sect. If it is higher, upgraded to Xian grade lower grade, it can even attract cultivators in the nascent soul stage, but then there is a great possibility that he will be killed and robbed of treasures. Since the art cannot be upgraded, then make up for the level of Taoism, Li Qingyun said. Then upgrade the middle grade Taoism to the upper grade Taoism. This operation will cost 250 genius points. Do you want to continue? Point 250. It's really dark. Do you want to continue? Continue. Li Qingyun said, but suddenly he found that continue was almost becoming his catchphrase. Every time he was forced to shout continue by this system, try not to say it in the future. Preparing. Reminder, during this Dao Foundation improvement process, additional cultivation will be improved. The host is likely to break through to the middle stage of foundation building. Do you want to continue? Li Qingyun, continue. System, Li Qingyun, start to improve. Li Qingyun quickly sat cross-legged and meditated to cooperate with the breakthrough. An hour later, Li Qingyun collapsed on the ground again with a pale face and a satisfied smile on his face. Host qualifications, cultivation value, 300, peak of the middle stage of foundation building, spiritual roots, 6 spiritual roots, foundation building, top grade Dao foundation, arts, Qingyun Ju yellow rank lower grade, genius points, 45. Although the system tortured him to death every time, the results were obvious, and it was worth it. Sun Liang stood at the door again with a lunchbox. Seeing Li Qingyun's condition, he hurried over to support Li Qingyun. Master, how are you? Li Qingyun was supported to sit on a chair and began to slowly recover his cultivation, while Sun Liang opened the lunchbox and began to serve Li Qingyun. The lunchbox contained 3 side dishes, stir-fried carrot shreds, pickled cabbage, and cold cucumber salad. They were all vegetarian, but they looked extremely delicious. The 8 hours of practice today are over. Li Qingyun smelled it. Sun Liang said, yes, master. Well, why don't you make some meat dishes? Li Qingyun asked the question he wanted to ask. Although the ingredients made by Sun Liang are delicious, he has been eating vegetarian food since he came back from the birthday banquet of Xuanhuan Ruhai. No one can stand eating vegetarian food every day. Sun Liang was stunned for a moment and said, I don't know how to kill wild animals. Li Qingyun said, is it okay not to eat meat? Your junior brother and you are both growing up, and you have to practice. You can't just eat vegetarian food. Master is right. Sun Liang realized his mistake and said respectfully. Li Qingyun said, so, after you and Ping and finish practicing in the cave area every day, go to the back mountain and kill wild animals, at least one every day. Sun Liang said, yes. Li Qingyun said, it's mainly to practice the experience of controlling spiritual power. Do you understand? Sun Liang said, yes. Ding, the first time to issue a task for the disciple, genius points plus 25, after the task is completed, another 50 points will be rewarded. Ahem. Li Qingyun coughed, it must be completed, if it is not completed, you will be punished. Yes. Yeah. Sun Liang hesitated for a moment and said, Master, I just saw someone at the gate. They are at our gate. These people are too rampant. Li Qingyun's good mood after completing the breakthrough was swept away. These days, some low-level disciples of the soul-snatching sect sneaked up to Daqing Mountain every day, doing something sneaky. Li Qingyun knew the whereabouts of these people, but as the leader of the Qingshan Sect, he really couldn't do anything to these low-level disciples, and they couldn't detect anything even if they investigated casually. It's just that this harassment is giving him a headache, so he had to selectively ignore them in his heart, but today, he had already walked to the gate in a rage, which completely irritated him. He decided that even if he was accused of bullying the weak as the leader of the sect, he would still deal with these minions, so he walked out directly after hearing what Sun Liang said. Sun Liang did not expect Li Qingyun to leave directly. At this time, he lowered his head, blushed, and said shyly, it was a woman who wore very little. Huh? Where is the master? Yang Hai Aoshua looked at the man who claimed to be the leader of Qingshan Sect in front of him. He had a good temperament. Seeing that he did not show a pig brother, but did not pretend to be indifferent, his eyes were filled with a faint appreciation. Neither humble nor arrogant, his eyebrows were sword-like, his eyes were shining, his hairstyle was slightly messy, but it was still stylish, and he was wearing a Taoist robe, which was clean. He looked handsome, not bad, not a hateful person. Looking at someone is called appreciation, staring at someone and drooling is called harassment and hooliganism. Li Qingyun understood this principle in his previous life, that is, lust without being lewd, so he grasped the degree very well and won the favor of Yang Hai Aoshua. He was also a little surprised at this time. He originally thought that it was a follower of the soul-snatching sect, but he didn't expect that when he went out, he would find that it was a beautiful woman with amazing curves. Li Qingyun was thinking about how to speak, and Yang Hai Aoshua's hand flashed with light, and a person was thrown out from the light. When I was going up the mountain, I saw someone sneaking around, so I went up to ask questions and found that this person was a spy from the soul-snatching sect to the Qingshan Sect, so I helped you deal with it. Li Qingyun agreed, walked to the side of the man, and reached out to touch him. Ha! Found it. It was a token with the logo of the soul-snatching sect and the position of this person on it. The inner disciple token indicated that this person was an inner disciple of the soul-snatching sect. Most inner disciples were at the 10th to 12th level of Qi training. Such strength was most suitable for reconnaissance. Too weak would be useless, and too strong would be a waste. I'm here to join your Qingshan Sect. The voice was a little cold, reminding Li Qingyun. Ha! Li Qingyun suddenly said in surprise. He was busy checking the spy of the soul-snatching sect and, admiring the beauty, and forgot to ask the beauty's purpose. I'm here to join your Qingshan Sect. She reminded again. What information did you get from the Tianji stone? Yes, my name is Yang Hai Aoshua, you must be Li Qingyun. Yang Hai Aoshua introduced himself. This spy is my token of joining your Qingshan Sect. Li Qingyun listened to Yang Hai Aoshua quietly, and at this time he had already opened the system to check the qualifications. Name, Yang Hai Aoshua. Age, 20. Qualification, 12 spiritual veins, Earth spiritual vein, Root 8, Comprehension 8, Fortune 7, Heart 5, Total score 28. Cultivation, Foundation Establishment Peak, Supergrade Tao Foundation. Star level, 6-star genius. 20-year-old foundation building peak. Although the qualification of Earth Spirit Vein is not as good as Ping An's Heavenly Spirit Vein, but the cultivation has raised her level to the same level as Ping An's 6-star genius. Why would such a genius come to Qingshan Sect, a dilapidated sect? Yang Hai Aoshua said, I just saw that your sect has a lower-grade yellow-level spirit gathering array. I need to break through the golden elixir in the near future. The function of the spirit gathering array is exactly what I need. Although the big sects also have it, but I don't want to join, so I choose to join your Qingshan Sect, although it's only temporarily. And you, don't you need a helper now? I can help you. Li Qingyun said, so you will leave at any time. Yang Haiaoxue said, I won't leave within a year. Deal. Li Qingyun smiled and stretched out his hand. Yang Haiao gave Li Qingyun a cold look, but also stretched out her slender jade hand and shook hands with Li Qingyun, but at this moment, there was a sudden commotion from the foot of the mountain. Elder Lu, I saw junior brother's son being taken up the mountain with my own eyes. That woman is here, on the top of this mountain. We must make Li Qingyun hand over the person. And hand over that woman. Humph. This Li Qingyun has been hiding for so long, and finally made a move. We must teach him a lesson. Li Qingyun looked at Yang Haiaoxue helplessly. This sect master appoints you as the great elder and assigns you the first task, which is to eliminate these scum who come to make trouble. It turned out that this group of spies from the Soul Capture sect had the support of the elders. Seeing that the Qingshan sect had few people, they had long wanted to force Li Qingyun to take action. Chapter 18 Kidnapping. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Qingyun, it is true that you captured a disciple of our sect and injured him. Are you trying to provoke a war between the two sects? There were 5 people in the group that went up the mountain, led by an old man in the middle. He asked Li Qingyun sharply. Oh, you are talking about him. Li Qingyun said, this person sneaked into our Qingshan Sect and stole the Qingshan Sect's secret books. According to the Qingshan Sect's rules, he should be executed on the spot. But my sect leader thought that this was his first offense, and he was afraid that this matter would be used by traitors to provoke a war between the two factions, so I just beat him unconscious. If you want to get this man back now, just come out with 100 spiritual stones and redeem him. Yang Haiaoxue opened his eyes and looked at Li Qingyun in disbelief. This sect leader looks like a human being, but why is he talking serious nonsense when he opens his mouth? You are slanderous. A disciple shouted, it was obviously you who knocked him unconscious at the foot of the mountain. Stop talking nonsense. If you want someone, bring out 100 spirit stones. If you don't have any spirit stones, please leave. Li Qingyun said, the leader of the elders said, Li Qingyun, I am Xuanhuan of the Soul Capture Sect. You are selling me face and handing over people. I will not argue with you. If you can't, then don't blame me for being rude. Li Qingyun said, I know you, Xuanhuan, the elder of the inner sect of the Soul-Calling Sect. You are in the late stage of foundation building and a middle-grade Taoist. I, a low-grade Taoist in the early stage of foundation building, really have no chance of winning against you. Humph. Xuanhuan said, then why don't you hand over the person quickly? Li Qingyun, but I won't fight you. I will send the chief elder of our sect to fight you now. Xuanhuan asked in confusion, Great Elder? Where did you get the greatness from Qingshan? Before he finished speaking, Yang Haiaoxue's attack had already arrived. Yang Haiaoxue had a weapon. The weapon was unique. It was a red ribbon, and a 3-foot red silk ribbon was waved out, with a strong force in the softness. Xuanhuan hit suddenly, but Hong Ling pulled back and caught all the remaining 4 people, and instantly released his spiritual energy, knocking down the 4 people, and then attacked Xuanhuan again. Li Qingyun sat aside and watched leisurely as Xuanhuan jumped up and down and shouted while being chased by the 3-foot red silk. Sure enough, within a few rounds, Xuanhuan was defeated by Yang Haiaoxue. 5 people were tied up by Hong Ling and placed in front of Li Qingyun. Xuanhuan struggled desperately, Li Qingyun, let me out. At worst, I will give you the 100 spiritual stones. Li Qingyun squatted in front of Xuanhuan and asked with confusion on his face, Elder Xuanhuan, don't be stupid, okay? 5 people led by you, Elder Lu, went to the gate of our Qingshan Sect to provoke, but they were captured by me. Do you understand? Xuanhuan seemed to have thought of something, was stunned, and nodded. As long as you understand, just now an inner disciple was caught entering the sect and stealing secrets. 100 spirit stones can naturally solve the problem, but now, it is you, an elder, who brings people to provoke, or, it can also be said to be a challenge. Is that still something that 100 spirit stones can solve? Lu Yunquan shook his head. Li Qingyun clapped his hands and said, "That's the truth." After saying this, Li Qingyun nodded to a disciple in gray who looked very clever and said, "You are now going back to Soul Capture Sect," and said that Elder Lu took the lead in provoking our Qingshan Sect and was arrested by the elder of Qingshan Sect. Sect leader Li asked for soul capture. Zone gave an explanation and offered 6,000 spiritual stones to redeem the person. The gray-clothed disciple looked confused. 6,000 spiritual stones, Li Qingyun said, including you, there are 6 people in total, of course 6,000 spirit stones. The disciple in gray clothes said repeatedly, I understand, I'll go right away. After saying that, he ran away. At this time, Yang Haoshue was looking at Li Qingyun like a god, and said, "Are you short of money?" Li Qingyun turned his face and glanced at Yang Haoshue. "I am not short of money, but the sect is short of money." "But, this person is only worth 100 spiritual stones." Yang Haoshue pointed to the first person she took up the mountain. "Now his worth has increased tenfold." Li Qingyun picked up the man and threw it to Elder Lu and the other 4. Elder Lu's face twitched violently, but in the end he sighed and said nothing. Li Qingyun walked over and patted Yang Haoshue on the shoulder. "There is no way, Elder Yang Hai. The sect has just started and needs spiritual stones. Don't be offended." Yang Haoshue moved his shoulders. "My surname is Yang." "Yes. Elder Yang. It's a good name." Li Qingyun repeated without changing his expression. "Humph, shameless." Yang Haoshue snorted and stopped talking to Li Qingyun, but at the same time, she was secretly surprised. Even though she had seen many great geniuses, when she saw Li Qingyun today, she felt that it was different. He has a good temperament and is very graceful, but he will never save face when encountering problems. He will see the right moment and play gangster-like tricks to fight for his own interests. He's an interesting man. Although the 7th elder was over 200 years old, he still had fair hair and a childish face, red lips and white teeth. He was sitting on the futon and drinking tea leisurely. He glanced at the disciples standing respectfully below. Said, "What's the matter? Tell me quickly." "Yes." Xiong Jianmu said respectfully. Xiong Jianmu was the disciple who was sent back by Li Qingyun to report the news. He was Lu Yinxuan's disciple and an inner disciple of the soul-capturing sect. On weekdays, relying on his status as an inner disciple of the soul-capturing sect, he often bullied the surrounding 1-star and 2-star sections. But today, he felt that he had kicked an iron plate and fractured his foot. He couldn't just let it go. Lu Yunquan is just an ordinary inner sect elder. This time he was ordered to come to Qingshan Sect because he was actually instructed by the 7th elder. The 7th elder is the master of the core disciple Zhang Tiankue, and his status is much higher than Lu Yunquan. The great elder instructed the 7th elder, but the 7th elder was unwilling to do it, so he sent Xiong Jianmu's master Lu Yunquan. But he didn't expect that a dignified elder of the Soul Capture Sect was captured. His master Lu Yunquan couldn't beat him and was arrested. Now he wants to get back at the place, so he can only go to the 7th elder. If the 7th elder can't do it, he can go to the great elder. Bah! How can the 7th elder not do it? The 7th elder will definitely deal with that bastard Li Qingyun. These analysis processes and interests have long been passed through Xiong Jianmu's mind. When he saw the 7th elder, all these mumbling things finally turned into one sentence. 7th elder. You have to make the decision for us. Li Qingyun kidnapped my master. What did you say? When the 7th elder heard this, the tea in his hand almost lost its balance and was poured on his beard by him. Li Qingyun arrested my master and fellow apprentices, and asked us to pay 6,000 spirit stones to ransom them. How dare you? The 7th elder put the teacup hard on the table, and took the opportunity to use his spirit power to evaporate the tea that had just fallen on him, to cover up his embarrassment. What did he say? Xiong Jinmu lowered his head quickly, pretending not to see the embarrassing scene just now, and said, he said that including me, he arrested a total of 6 people, and he would charge 6,000 spirit stones for the ransom of 6 people. Isn't it 5 people? He said I count as 1. The 7th Elder. Asshole. Chapter 19, Battle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Qingyun tied up his 5 trophies tightly, sealed them with spiritual power, and placed them in the sect's main hall. Google search reading that he called Sun Liang and Ping Gan to come over and ask questions. As soon as Ping An entered the door, he was attracted by the 5 people who were tied like rice dumplings. He looked around curiously with his big eyes. Sun Liang came in and glanced at these people, then turned back and didn't look at them again. Li Qingyun said, I called you here to inspect your practice progress. Now let's report the recent results. Yes. Sun Liang said. Reporting to Master, Sun Liang has advanced from the 11th level of Qi training to the 12th level of Qi training in the 10 days since the Dongfu area was opened. He is about to start preparations for foundation building. Sun Liang said calmly. But when these words fell into the ears of Lu Yunquan and his 4 disciples, they were like a thunder. He advanced from the 11th level to the 12th level of Qi training in 10 days. This speed is simply unheard of. Yes. Ping An replied in a sweet voice. Reporting to Master, Ping An has advanced from the 5th level of Qi training to the 8th level of Qi training, and he and senior brother Sun go to the back mountain to hunt wild beasts every day. Lu Yunquan and 4 inner disciples. The honest-looking young man just now was at the 12th level of Qi training, but he was still 15 or 16 years old. Although the 12th level of Qi training was an exaggeration, it was still acceptable. But what happened to this child? His voice didn't even change when he spoke, so how come he's already at the 5th level of Qi training? And he was promoted from the 5th level of Qi training to the 8th level of Qi training? What kind of monsters are Li Qingyun's apprentices? Li Qingyun said, not bad, not bad. Your 2 cultivation speeds are barely up to par. There is still a gap between what I was doing back then. Also, when you go to the back mountain tomorrow, ask the Great Elder to go with you and try to learn something from her. Do you understand what I mean? Ping An grinned, showing 2 tiger teeth, and there was an indescribable cunningness on the little fat face. Understood. Sun Liang also nodded, I understand what Master means, we must study hard with the Great Elder. Just understand what I mean, go down. That's right. Li Qingyun seemed to suddenly think of something. Sun Liang turned around and asked, what's wrong, Master? The dishes you made with the wild beasts you killed these days are delicious. Remember to give the old donkey a taste. Ah. Uncle Donkey, can he eat meat? Just bring it to it, it will definitely eat it. Okay. Let's go, senior brother. Ping An tugged at the corner of Sun Liang's clothes and said, I think there must be something wrong with Master tying these people up here. Let's not disturb them. Sun Liang retires. Goodbye, Master. Watching Li Qingyun's 2 apprentices leave, Lu Yunquan finally couldn't hold it in any longer. Li. Sect leader Li, how old is your little apprentice? Li Qingyun said, is there any problem? Lu Yunquan smiled awkwardly, I have never heard of such a small 8th level Qi training monk. I admit that I have been to several major sects, but I have never seen such monsters as the 2 disciples of sect leader Li. Several disciples on the side also nodded fiercely and desperately agreed with Lu Yunquan. Do you know why? Lu Yunquan and everyone else shook their heads, I don't know. Alas. Li Qingyun sighed, let me tell you the truth. Lu Yunquan and the others' ears were about to stand up. They wanted to know what secret the Qingshan Sect had that could teach such a monster. Such a shocking secret might be related to their future cultivation destiny. Sect Master. A messenger from the soul-capturing sect is coming to the door. At this moment, Feng Yong ran in panting from the door and shouted. Ah! Take me to see it. Li Qingyun quickly took Feng Yong out of the door. Lu Yunquan had mixed emotions. Xiong Jinmu stood alone in front of the majestic gate of Qingshan Sect, feeling very uneasy. He thought that after telling the seventh elder about this matter, the seventh elder would show his power and bring people over to pacify the Qingshan Sect, but he didn't expect. The seventh elder actually chose such a solution and even asked himself to be the messenger. Li Qingyun came out, hoping that he would not arrest him again. Xiong Jianmu smiled all over his face. Sect Master Li, it's me. Oh, it's you. A smile appeared on Li Qingyun's face. Did you bring the spirit stone? Without kindness. Upon hearing this, the smile on Li Qingyun's face disappeared instantly, and he exuded an aura that made Xiong Jianmu's heart palpitate. The powerful aura made Xiong Jianmu, who was already nervous, overwhelmed. In desperation, Xiong Jianmu shouted, the two countries are at war. The envoy of Buza is here. Sect Master Li. Okay, if you have anything to say, tell me quickly. If you don't, go back and get the spirit stone. Li Qingyun looked at Xiong Jianmu's embarrassment, suppressed his laughter, and said, I have a letter from the seventh elder here for you. Xiong Jianmu ran towards Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun took the envelope, checked it carefully, and found that there was no hidden backhand, so he opened the letter. Sect Master Li personally initiated it. He recited Hua Jian in a moment and learned everything. I was speechless when I heard that you took the elders and 5 disciples of my sect and asked our sect to pay a ransom of 6,000 yuan. However, I think that you are actually starting a business, and it is difficult to make progress. I can forgive you for taking this decision, but I cannot follow it. But now that you have spoken, even if you are not talented, you still have a plan. If you dare to have a small competition between 2 sects with our sect, and send a few people from each sect, there is no need to go to war, and there is no need for someone to be known as a big bully to hurt the harmony. If your sect wins, I will give you 6,000 with both hands. If your sect loses, how about letting our elders and disciples return to the mountain? The competition venue will be in Xuanhuan City 5 days later. Hope you will be given a reply soon. Li Qingyun said, you 7 elders want to arrange a small competition between 2 sects with me. Xiong Jianmu said, exactly. Although this letter is verbose, its meaning is very clear. You kidnapped the elders of our sect and used dirty methods, but it makes sense because your sect is too poor and life is not easy. I don't want to come and teach you a lesson for bullying the younger ones. I want 6,000 spiritual stones. Just send out a few people from one side and compete. If you win, you will be given 6,000 spiritual stones. If you lose, you will be released. And the venue was chosen in Xuanhuan City, which is really interesting. The Soul Capture sect should have seen that Li Qingyun was gaining some influence in Xuanhuan City. After all, Xuanhuan City was originally close to the Qingshan Sect and originally belonged to the Qingshan Sect sphere of influence. Now the Soul Capturing Sect wants to compete with the Qingshan Sect, just to defeat the Qingshan Sect in public and tell the people in Xuanhuan City that the Qingshan Sect is still not good, and the Soul Capturing Sect is the boss. The Qingshan Sect wanted to expand its influence in Xuanhuan City, so he decided to defeat the Qingshan Sect in Xuanhuan City. This method is much better than directly forcing the Qingshan Sect to release people. Li Qingyun said in his heart, but you made the wrong calculation this time. I'll fight. 5 days later, in Xuanhuan City. When Xiong Jianmu saw Li Qingyun accepting the challenge, he was secretly surprised. He had thought that the sect leader would deliberately change the topic, and he had already thought about what to say after he refused, but he didn't expect that he actually agreed. I have a message for you, 7th Elder. Your sect has already decided on the time and place. Then I will decide the rules. The rules will be based on the rules of the small competition between Qingshan Sect and Soul Capture Sect 10 years ago. Li Qingyun finished speaking. After saying a few words, he waved his sleeves and turned around. I won't give it away. Ding, start 2 small competition tasks, mission requirements, win the small competition, mission rewards, 1, 200, 1500 genius points, 2, hidden attributes, 3, random sect building renovation once, failure penalty. If the mission fails, the Qingshan Sect's reputation will be completely wiped out in Xuanhuan City. Not only will it be unable to win back Xuanhuan City, but also, without the support of Xuanhuan City, the Qingshan Sect will never be able to actually take back the 300 miles of jurisdiction. Chapter 20 Competition Rules. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The Soul-Taking Sect, the Residence of the Seven Elders. Google search reading. As expected, Li Qingyun, a young boy, thinks he has won a few rounds of our sect, so he doesn't know how high the world is. The seventh elder said with a smile. That's right. The seventh elder really knows what's going on. Xiong Jianmu agreed. The seventh elder put down the teacup, stood up, and said leisurely, although it does not take much effort to win the Qingshan Sect, after all, it is related to our sect's reputation in Xuanhuan City, so we still need to prepare carefully. In this case, you go and call the first place winner in this year's outer sect competition and the leader of the inner sect competition, and see if Luo Jingsheng is here. Yes. Qingshan Sect, Back Mountain. Pingyan has a serious face and holds an axe as if facing a powerful enemy. Flutter. With one stroke of the knife, the circle was neatly split. Li Qingyun looked at Pingyan with a serious look on his face, but he didn't see what was so easy about splitting wood, so he turned around and asked Yang Haoxuan next to him. Is this special training for Pingyan? Yang Hao gave Li Qingyun a white look. What do you know? This is called sword cutting technique. It specializes in the precision of power. You practice hard every day. It seems like a simple chopping technique, but in fact you have to find the whole piece of wood every time you start. The weakest part is to develop a sense of fighting against the enemy with the weakest point. Oh, Li Qingyun responded in a long voice, can I learn? Yang Haoxue didn't even look at Li Qingyun. You are too weak in talent and too old, Li Qingyun. Sun Liang dragged a wild wolf back from the back mountain. When he saw Li Qingyun, he threw the wild wolf on the ground and greeted Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun didn't need to ask. Yang Haoxue said, Sun's conscience is too kind, your idea is good, let him see more blood, and finally he can truly improve. But Li Qingyun didn't reply and asked Sun Liang, next time you go to the back mountain, don't go to the wolf den. It's too close to the mountains. There are monsters in the mountains. You can't go in yet. Oh. Sun Liang responded, but then added, but I saw Uncle Lu taking Uncle Donkey in last time. Nonsense, how can Uncle Lu go deep into Daqing Mountain at such an old age? Oh, Master, let me go back and take care of the wild wolf first. Go ahead. Yang Haoxue watched Sun Liang pulling the wild wolf away and said, you are a disciple with such a good nature that I have never seen before in my life. Things like chopping firewood and cooking can temper his character. Ping Yan's talents are among the top ones even among those super families. I wonder how lucky you are to have these two people as your disciples. Li Qingyun sighed, everyone has his or her own opportunities. Maybe your luck lies in your background and talent. Maybe my luck lies in being handsome and lucky. Yang Haoxue spat, bah, narcissistic. Unexpectedly, Li Qingyun changed the topic and said, how else could I meet these two lovely apprentices and such a beautiful girl? Yang Haoxue's face turned red, you are so shameless, I will ignore you. Hey, don't go. Seeing Yang Haoxue suddenly change from a cold goddess to a shy little woman, Li Qingyun was confused. I scratched my head and thought, this woman is so strange. I just thought about Xiaoyu for a moment and felt that it was important for me to have her help, otherwise I wouldn't even be able to set my sights. What are you angry about? I really don't understand. The great elder seems to be angry, Master. Pingyan held the big axe in his hand, blinked his big black eyes, and said cautiously. What do you know about my lord's affairs? The great elder is not angry. Master knows exactly what he is thinking. Li Qingyun snorted. Oh. Pingyan agreed in a long voice, obviously feeling unconvinced. What the hell? Keep chopping, I'll chop 200 of them today. Profound. Li Qingyun rubbed Ping An's head lovingly and said softly, practice hard, and in a few days, I will take care of the master's bastards of the soul-destroying sect. Yes. Pingyan waved his little fist. Pingyan is very strong now. He will definitely vent his anger on master. Be safe and be good. There is one sentence that Li Qingyun did not say: the master is still not strong enough, so he has to let you disciples take action. If I were nascent soul now, how could the soul captivating sect dare to be so arrogant and get involved in Xuanhuan city? Soul Sect, Mingxiang Xiaozhu, the small courtyard has an elegant environment with luxuriant flowers and plants. There is a blue stone path in the courtyard. Standing on the path is a girl in a blue dress. This girl is about the same appearance as Yang Haiaoxue, but she has a different pure temperament. Shi Jing frowned and looked at the person in front of him. Xiong Jianmu has long heard that Yi Xiaoyu, the most talented disciple of Quan Soul Sect, is a super beauty, but he has never seen it. Today, he finally saw it, and then he understood what the words thrilling mean. At this time, I only dared to put my eyes on the flowers and plants on both sides of the path, and did not dare to look directly at Yi Xiaoyu. You mean, the seventh elder and the Qingshan Sect have agreed to hold a small competition between the two sects in Xuanhuan city in 5 days, and you want me to participate? Xiong Jinmu said, exactly. Senior Sister Yi is the leader of this year's inter-sect competition, and she was named by the seventh elder to participate. Furthermore, with Senior Sister Ye's 12th level cultivation of Qi and Dzogchen, she will definitely be able to win a competition. Go back and tell the seventh elder that I won't go. Yi Xiaoyu turned around. Let's just say that in order to lay a solid foundation, Xiaoyu entered the Shangzong trial and stayed in Qi training for 2 years. He didn't want to be distracted by this matter. Besides, Li Qingyun and I are of the same generation. Wouldn't it be a joke to encounter his disciple in this competition? Xiong Jinmu hurriedly said, yes, I will definitely bring you Senior Sister's true words. Thank you, I won't give it away. How dare you? Xiong Jinmu returned to the seventh elder's residence and conveyed Yi Xiaoyu's words to the seventh elder intact. The seventh elder muttered, it's normal for Yi Xiaoyu not to take action. You can go find Zhang Pingtian. What the seventh elder said is that the disciple has informed Zhang Pingtian, and Zhang Pingtian has also agreed. Besides, Zhang Yuan, who ranked first in the outer sect competition, agreed, and senior uncle Luo Jingsheng is also here, and he also agreed, but let me tell you that you must agree to him for the last time. The seventh elder said, I knew this kid would take the opportunity to make demands. You can tell him later that you will be rewarded only if you win, and nothing if you lose. Yes. Xiong Jinmu said, in this way, according to the rules 10 years ago, the number of people in the two sects will be complete. One outer disciple, whose cultivation level does not exceed the 10th level of Qi training, and one inner disciple, whose cultivation level no more than a foundation, an elder, no more than a golden elixir. Well done. The seventh elder glanced at Xiong Jinmu, who seemed to be taking credit. You are quite diligent. When the 2 small competitions are over, you can come to my recipe. There is a shortage of manpower. Yes. Xiong Jinmu was overjoyed. Thank you, seventh elder. The seventh elder single-handedly led this competition and won the Qingshan Sect. Isn't it easy to win? This disciple will go to the alchemy room first to familiarize himself with the situation so that he can work with all the senior brothers in the future. In a blink of an eye, there is only 1 day left before the 2 small competitions.